Alright guys, so I've been working on making this video for a while, and I wasn't really sure how to put it all together, how to frame it and everything. And if you know, I'm not a huge fan of Cold War, so I wanted to, look at that and stuff, but I decided that I was going to go back and look at the exosuit era of games, because I think that's where Call of Duty kind of went crazy with things, and things started to go wrong from there. So let's start with the first one that launched with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Advanced Warfare. So Call of Duty had essentially been doing the same thing for 5 years now, and we're not counting Ghost because that's kind of a bridge between the two eras of Call of Duty, if that's what you want to call it. That's not, this video is not the time to talk about Ghost. That can be a whole video in and on its own. And so with Advanced Warfare, if you don't know, essentially they added exosuits. And so this essentially changed everything, but really changed nothing, right? It's still Call of Duty, still that fast pace, quick time to kill streaks, no thinking, just run around and shoot people. But now you can move insanely quickly, vertically and horizontally. Those are pretty much the only differences between this game and the other Call of Duties. Now, this game, a lot of people kind of trash as like the start of the exosuit era and where things went wrong. People say that the exosuit era is the lowest point in Call of Duty, and until I started thinking about this video, I pretty much agreed with that. And so if you don't know how Advanced Warfare worked, essentially it introduced, aside from the gameplay, a customization menu. You could fully customize how you looked, which again is really cool, right? We don't see that again until Modern Warfare, when they introduce like battle passes and stuff, maybe even Black Ops 4, but essentially, I mean, they have camos and stuff, but fully customizing and unlocking different pieces of armor and helmets and all that stuff, that was really unique to Call of Duty. And not that it wasn't in every single other game, but within a Call of Duty game, that was new and something that was interesting. Now, how do you get these customized pieces of armor and equipment? Well, that's where I think this game goes wrong, right? This Call of Duty introduced loot boxes, supply drops, whatever you want to call them, right? You could either, pay for them like every other game, or you could earn them eventually through grinding through progression. And, obviously the hours it takes to grind for one is significantly more than the time it would take you to walk downstairs and get your mom's credit card. I'm not sure how much you guys remember, but everyone says that exosuits were the downfall of Call of Duty, and they blame this game as the starting point of that 4 year downfall, right? And so when looking back on it and talking about these supply drops and all this stuff, the real problem here was weapon variants. Now, if you don't remember how this worked, essentially the way things functioned is in these supply drops you could also get these types of clothing, if that's what you want to call them, customization outfits that we've been talking about. They also had different variants of weapon, right? So they had, I don't remember the names of the gun, but let's say an M4. I don't remember the names of the variants, but let's say there was a red, blue, green, and orange variant, right? I'm just making random colors here. And so non-paying players, if you just wanted to grind it out, you would need to somehow accumulate 10 of the red ones to get the blue one, 10 of the blue ones to get the green one, 50 of the green ones to get the orange one, etc., etc., until you got the best version of the weapon. And these different versions had higher rate of fire, better accuracy, more stability, stuff like that, more damage. And so they weren't just cosmetic differences, but they actually made a difference on how well the gun performed. And, by you using said gun, that then changed how you performed. And so I'm sure you can already figure out the problem here with what I'm saying, is that you now have a way. That was cool. See what I mean? Like, I'm going off on a tangent here, but this trailer is awesome. This should have been amazing, right? And we'll get back to that in a second. But the way these things work is that you're grinding to get these variants of these weapons. You either have to sit here and play for like 90 hours to get one gun just to compete, or you can go downstairs, ask your mom for a credit card for some Robux, buy us 30,000 supply drops, and just get a better weapon than everybody else, and be better than everyone else. And so, that's the problem with Advanced Warfare. It's not the exosuits. It's not, there you go, see? There's a weapon variant right there. It's not the exosuits. It wasn't the time to kill, it wasn't, the maps, it was the supply drops and the variants within the supply drops that really ruined this game. And this isn't exclusive to Advanced Warfare. This carries over throughout all of the Exosuit games. Now, this trailer, I have to shut the sound off completely for because there is a song that I know will instantly get claimed if I let this play at even 1% volume, so I'm sorry that you don't have any background noise or gunshots to listen to. That's just the way it is. So this is Black Ops 3, which came out immediately after Advanced Warfare, continued with the exosuit theme, all of that stuff. But the way this changed is that the exosuits were no longer big jumps and thrusts, so without actually showing it to you, it's kind of impossible to describe it. But in Advanced Warfare, it was a thrust vertically, or backwards, or left or right. In Black Ops 3, and when we get to an Infinite Warfare, it's a smooth kind of what you see from Titanfall, right? It's as you hold the thrust button, you slowly go up or slowly go left, and that kind of natural style of movement. And so that was a big improvement here. And another improvement here was what we're going to call the hero system, the operator system, the agent system, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And so, like every other game that's coming out now, Black Ops and Call of Duty wanted to get into hero shooters, so you had, I want to say 10 to 12 specialists, I think is what they were called, that all had different abilities. This carries over to future games, and we'll talk about that more later. But again, this, along with the exosuits, this should have been great. This should have been the difference that Call of Duty needed to turn itself around, become a different game, really, make its new footing in gaming, right, in first-person shooting. But aside from the terrible campaign, right, again, the multiplayer had some problems. Now, this is regarded as the best of the exosuit multiplayers. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it had a lot of the same problems that Advanced Warfare had. And so, aside from the specialist and some other new things here and there, this game added, I believe, wall running. I don't think it was a thing in Advanced Warfare, that you can fight underwater now, and they kind of had that in Ghost and a little bit in Advanced Warfare, but it really was a main part of map features in this game. And so, why did this game not perform well? Right? I'm telling you all these positive things, all these positive changes it made from Advanced Warfare. And personally, again, while it did perform the best out of all the exosuit games, and it's not my favorite, a lot of people still don't like it. They bash it because it's an exosuit game. And I think Advanced Warfare is partly to blame for that. That whole supply drop, weapon variant system just left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And really, they were just saw exosuits and immediately disliked the game. Thumbs down. I'm not playing it. I hate it. It's a bad COD game. Now, speaking of unfair bias,
you seen this? Unknown. Unidentified settlement ships. You are moving into a restricted
situation. They just opened fire. We're f***ing fire. Data's guns are attacking our airship. Pilot's hit.
This is a full-blown invasion.
Oh my god.
good old Infinite Warfare. Now, at some point, this was the most disliked trailer on YouTube. Now, that's because it's futuristic, it's exosuit, like we said before, all those predispositions that you associate with Advanced Warfare, with those stupid supply crates that give you better guns than everybody else. They see exosuits, they immediately apply it to the new game, and people were tired of exosuits. They wanted nothing to do with it. Okay? So this trailer did terrible, and as you can assume, the game, I mean, it's a Call of Duty game, so they still made their money because it is Call of Duty. If it says Call of Duty on it and it's a blank screen, people will buy it. But it performed the worst out of these three. Alright, the scores are terrible, the reviews are bad, both critic and fans. But personally, and I'm going to get called a psychopath, this is my favorite exosuit game. Right? The story is great. It's fantastic. You know what, the game's been out long enough, everybody fucking dies, and I like that. Alright, the main character even dies. The way they incorporate gadgets and space combat, and I'm biased because I like space shit, but I don't care. This game fucking smacks, and really what it does really well, is its multiplayer. Even though I'm not a fan of COD multiplayer all that much, you know, I'm not good at it, but what it does really well is it takes all of the shooting and the mechanics and the time to kill and the gun balancing and all that shit from every other Call of Duty. The past, at this point, 8 Call of Duty games, something like that, and takes all of that combined with the refined exosuit movements that they've learned from Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, and what they did with Specialist and Black Ops 3, and combines it all together into one game. While there are still supply drops, thank God there were no variants, so you could still get clothing items and customization and stuff like that, and I believe visual cosmetic for weapon variants, but as far as I remember, there weren't weapon variants that perform differently. Now, I could be wrong about this, so, if I'm wrong, if they were in the game, then, that's bad on me, but I'm almost positive they weren't. Now, aside from that, I felt that the exosuits in this worked the greatest. Like I said, in Advanced Warfare, they were kind of clunky. It was a big, clunky vertical, horizontal, backwards thrust. In Black Ops 3, it became smoother, but not to the point where it was perfectly smooth. It still felt a bit clunky. And this, I feel like this performs the best. It feels perfect. You move smoothly through the transition. The wall runs are great. The time to kill, I believe, is a little bit increased, which I like a lot. And this is one of my favorite Call of Duty games. So, wrapping it all up, why does this matter? Who gives a fuck how these 3 exosuit games performed, right? And so my whole point of making this video is that Call of Duty is always trying to change things up, right? And they went back, you can say, to formula with Modern Warfare, which is why it did so fucking well. But if you go back to formula and you stick at that fucking formula for too long, then that formula becomes stale, right? And so they did their Modern Warfare thing, and Call of Duty is so fucking confusing because they did their Modern Warfare thing. It's great. It's the realism. It's the quick time to kill. Love it. It's one of the best, if not the best, Call of Duty since an Xbox 360 version. Now, the problem with this is that when they go back to regular-ass Call of Duty with Cold War, which is what I would define as a pre-Xbox One, kind of that Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, Black Ops 1, 2, and Ghost Call of Duty, right? That's just your run and gun, your quick time to kill, your just fucking normal-ass Call of Duty, right? That shit is boring as fuck. At least, I don't know if it's just the age at which you got into Call of Duty, but for me, those Xbox 360 games is when I got into it. So I've played normal-ass Call of Duty 6 years in a row, counting Cold War, Black Ops 4, so 7 or 8 times at this point. I don't really want to play normal-ass Call of Duty anymore, alright? And so my point is that if Advanced Warfare would have just not had those stupid fucking supply boxes, I think the exosuit era of Call of Duty would have been the greatest fucking thing ever. Because this looks so cool. Right? This looks awesome. I would play this all day if you showed this to me right now. But those exosuits with the supply drops and people just associated the supply drop with the exosuit, go back and play one of these. Alright? I would say Infinite Warfare, if you're into the campaigns, don't play the Black Ops 3 campaign, that's fucking terrible. But the other two are good. And my point is, Call of Duty could be on a completely different path, right? We could still be playing exosuit games if Advanced Warfare would not have gone the way that it did. But hey, that's just my opinion. Wanted to get that out there, because a lot of people say that the exosuit era is just trash games, and it's not. The gameplay, the ideas behind the gameplay, and the specialists, and combining the exosuits with the specialists, it takes so many new non-Call of Duty ideas and combines them with what Call of Duty does really well, which is making you feel like you're good at a game. And just puts it all in one. And if it wasn't for stupid fucking microtransactions, I think this would have been great. We could have had like a Halo-style Call of Duty by now, with like fucking big boy exosuits and your Master Chief, but Call of Duty's version, running around, and fucking like flipping tanks and shit. It would have been awesome. Alright? But sadly, that's never gonna happen. But you guys let me know what you thought of these games when they released down in the comments below. If you go back and play them now, let me know what you think of them now, if your opinion has changed or stayed the same at all. and I'll see you guys on the next one.